With things like trades, injuries, team chemistry issues, and player attitudes, predicting how the NBA season will play out before the season even starts is almost impossible, but I'm gonna give it a shot anyway. And today we're ranking teams into groups in a tier list, based on how I believe these teams will do in the 2023-24 season. I know I'm about to get cooked in the comments, but tell me what you think I got wrong. Starting off with the Philadelphia 76ers, who I think will be decent in the regular season. The Philadelphia 76ers are in a whole mess of a situation with James Harden. Harden and the GM of the Sixers, Daryl Morey, are in an intense battle, and it seems like James Harden really does not like the man. And this is just going to create team chemistry issues, and I really don't think that they're going to be able to pull it together for a good season, and I don't think they're going to contend this year. But someone that will contend is the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks just made a blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard, and pairing him up with Giannis is going to be lethal. 3 players in the Bucks starting lineup are franchise leading scorers. Giannis with the Bucks, Damian Lillard with the Portland Trailblazers, and Brook Lopez with the Nets. The Bucks are going to be good, and the only real competition that I see in the East would be the Celtics. And yes, I'm a little bit biased because they're my team, but I think they're going to win the chip this year. The Bulls will be okay. I think that they might make the play-in tournament, being a 7-10 seed, but it's nothing special. Lonzo Ball getting injured was a huge loss for the Bulls, and it doesn't seem like he's going to come back anytime soon. While yes, you have DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Vucevic, it just doesn't seem to connect. And a team that's almost going to be firing on all cylinders is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs have real good talent, with Donovan Mitchell being added to the roster last season, and it really worked. At times, the Cavs were iffy at best, but I think that they're just one piece away from really being good. They also added Max Strus from the Heat, and that's going to give them more shooting this year. Their young players in Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen all had another year to develop. The Cavs will be good, but not contenders. And the team that's going to be the Bucks' main competition in the East are the Celtics. The Celtics have a great starting lineup. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Porzingis, and Holiday now with the new trade. They're going to be good, but I don't know if they're going to be deep. In the past, the Bucks and Giannis have been stopped by Robert Williams, Grant Williams, and also Marcus Smart, which none of them are on the roster anymore. So if I had to guess, I would say that the Bucks are going to get past the Celtics, but the Celtics are going to have a real shot at getting to the finals this year. The Clippers will be good this year if they can stay healthy. I know this is the same thing that everyone says every year with the Clippers. They just need to stay healthy, but it's true. If they stay healthy, they have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and they have a lot of good pieces to surround them as well. I know the Clippers are also in trade talks for James Harden, but personally, I don't feel like he would add much to the team. I feel like the Sixers would ask for a lot, and I don't think it would be worth a return. They just have to stay healthy. Next up, we have the Grizzlies, which I think will be decent. Ja Morant has a 25-game suspension after his questionable Instagram live activity, and so I think that's going to put the Grizzlies in a bit of a hole, and I think they really won't be in a great position, maybe around a 5 seed at the end of the season. But once they come back, they could make a playoff run, and they have some good talent on the team, adding Marcus Smart and also Derrick Rose. The Hawks are just going to be the Hawks. It seems like the Hawks are in the same repetitive situation now ever since the 2021 run that they made to the conference finals, but Ice Trae just does not faze me. I think they'll be a play-in tournament team, maybe like a 7 seed. And now we have the Miami Heat, which will be okay. I know this might be a controversial take since Jimmy Butler just absolutely demolished the Bucks and ran through the Eastern Conference, but I really just don't think they're gonna be that good. In the regular season last year, they weren't either. And I know that playoffs is the only time that really counts, and that's when Jimmy Butler really starts to go off, but they also lost Gabe Vincent and Max Strus, who were 2 key parts in their run. And maybe they were waiting for Damian Lillard, but they really didn't do anything in the offseason either. The Hornets are going to be the first team in our Bronny sweepstakes. And by Bronny sweepstakes, I mean the team is going to be so bad that the team might draft Bronny just to try to get LeBron. The Hornets are a mess right now. I just made a video about it, which you can watch here, but they are just not going to be able to get it together. I know they have LaMelo, but the team is just a mess. Kai Jones is going crazy in the socials, who publicly requested a trade over Twitter, and then the team dropped him. Also, Miles Bridges just threw pool balls at his girlfriend's car with children in it. His children. I really don't know what's going to happen to him. He might not be in the NBA anymore. Hornets will be bad. The Utah Jazz are an interesting one here, and I think they'll be decent. Lauri Markkanen went crazy last season in a outburst that nobody really expected. It looks like he's a true star, but it won't be enough to become a top team in the West. The Sacramento Kings are gonna be really good this year, but I don't see much changing. De'Aaron Fox is great, the energy is great, lighting the beam is great, but I don't see them getting over the hump. It's really the same team that they had. Maybe they just need more experience and to grow, so it could be their year, but I just don't see it. A lot of good, young talent though, and I think they have a ton of promise. The New York Knicks are gonna be okay, but it's kind of like the Atlanta Hawks. Nothing really changed, and it just seems like they're the same every year. Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Jalen Brunson, and Emmanuel Quickley are all good players, but I just am not scared of the Knicks. It doesn't seem like this is a championship team, but just a good team. The Los Angeles Lakers will almost be there, but not quite. The biggest thing for me here is Anthony Davis. I just don't believe that he's going to stay healthy. I know there's been reports coming out that he's been putting in work in the gym. He's really trying to stay healthy for a full season, but I just don't see that happening. And when you're relying on a 39-year-old LeBron James to carry the whole team, I just don't know if it's going to happen. I'm not saying that LeBron's not going to be LeBron. I assume that he could play basketball until like 60 if he wanted to, but I just don't see them getting past a team like the Nuggets in the West. The Orlando Magic will be anything but magical. The Magic just seem to be in a slump. They just really can't get out of that bottom of the East range, and I just don't see it happening again this year. Paolo is great, and they have some good young players, but just not enough. Moving on to the Mavericks, I see them being pretty good, but not a contender. Luka Doncic is amazing, and Kyrie Irving is one of the best ball handlers I've ever seen in my life. But it just seems like it's going to be more of the same from last year. There was too much offense and not enough defense, and I just don't think it's going to work. Now we have the Brooklyn Nets, who I think will be okay. Mikal Bridges has really stepped up after getting traded from the Suns, and he's great. And there's some good players on the Nets that will combine to make a decent team, but not one that's really going to compete for the East. Plus, Ben Simmons is coming back this year, and I really have no idea what to expect. I feel like I haven't seen Ben Simmons play basketball in 8 years, and I don't know what he's going to look like when he comes back. Up next, we have the reigning champs, the Denver Nuggets, and they're still going to be a problem. Jokic is looking like the best player in the league right now. Jamal Murray is insane. We have Michael Never Pass the Rock Porter Jr., who is draining threes while insanely contested, and their team has pretty much stayed the exact same. The Indiana Pacers have some good young talent, but they're not going to be great. Tyrese Halliburton is really good, but I don't think that he's going to be enough to really propel this team to be great or even that good. I think they'll be a play-in team, but nothing's really going to come of their season this year. And I think there's more of the same when it comes to the Pelicans. Now, I'll put this caveat on it. If Zion can stay healthy, I think they could be really good, but I don't think that Zion's going to stay healthy. It seems like he is just always out. He's played just a few games in the past few years because he's always injured, and the guys like Brandon Ingram will make a team good, but not great. Up next, we got the Pistons, who are just going to be the Pistons. I truly don't remember a time when I was scared of playing the Pistons or when they were even really good. I expect Cade Cunningham to do his thing. I'm excited to see the Thompson twin too, but just don't think it's going to work this year. The Toronto Raptors will be a play-in tournament team. I was almost going to put them in the good section here, but I just think they don't have enough to be a great team. Fred VanVleet is now on the Rockets, and while it's not the only thing that made the Raptors offense good, it was a big part. And the East this year is very competitive, I think even harder than the West, so I think they're going to go in the play-in tournament. And speaking of the Rockets, I think they can make the play-in this year. They have a defensive stopper in Dylan Brooks, they have some new offense with Fred VanVleet, they have Jalen Green still, Jabari Smith, they have some good young players. I think that they can make it work. Not a great season, but an improvement. To all my Spurs fans out there, sorry, but I don't think Wemby's going to move the needle this year. Victor Wembanyama is truly a once-in-a-generation talent, but I just can't rank the Spurs that high yet. I just need to see him in action and need to see if the Spurs can make some real improvement because they were horrible last year. The Phoenix Suns, I think, will be a true contender this year. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal are going to be a problem on offense. And I know they say defense wins championships, but also if there's so much offense that you can't stop anything, then offense wins championships. They also have some new pieces and got rid of DeAndre Ayton in the Drew Holiday trade and gained Grayson Allen, another good shooter. The Suns are going to be nice. And so will the Thunder. I just don't think as nice. Shea is a true star. I really want to see what Chet Holmgren does this year. And you can't forget about Josh Giddey and Jalen Zion Williams, who was a rookie last year, showed some true promise, so I'm excited to see their team. Unfortunately for the Timberwolves, I don't think they're going to figure out their problems this year. As good as Anthony Edwards is, I just don't trust in Cat or Rudy Gobert. I think that they're going to struggle and try to lean on Ant Moore, who is a really good player and could be a superstar, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. And a team who just traded away their superstar is going to be the Blazers, who will be bad. They're obviously in a huge rebuild and they just want to get young talent. They do have a good starting point in Scoot Henderson, who was just drafted with the 3rd pick in the 2023 draft. They have Dominatin and Malcolm Brogdon, but besides a few wins here and there, I don't see much happening this year. Taking a look at the Warriors this year, they will almost be a contender. Now, I know you really can't bet against Steph Curry, even though I am right now, but I just do not see how Chris Paul can seamlessly fit into this lineup, especially if he's going to be a starter. There's just too many guards and small players that I think they're really going to get dominated by big men. Kevon Looney and Draymond Green cannot stop Nikola Jokic. And lastly, we have the Jordan Poole-led Wizards, who will be bad. I don't think it's a secret that Kuz and Jordan Poole aren't going to make a great dynamic duo. Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma are two good young players, but that's really it. And I don't think either of them are really meant to lead a basketball team, so they're going to struggle. And that's going to wrap up this tier list. Let me know in the comments what you think I got right or what I got wrong, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.